SQL statements can be classified as DDL statements, DML statements, DCL statements, and TCL statements. The very important statement is your select statement. And what does it do? Select statement is used for data retrieval. Data manipulation statements, that is DML statements, are insert, update, and delete statements. These statements are used to insert new record, change existing record, and delete existing record. DDL statement. What you have to do or what you can do with DDL statement is that before storing the data, you need to define the structure of the data. And this structure is defined using data definition language, and the statements are create, alter, drop, rename, and truncate. These are the basic statements, and these are only required to manipulate the data, and rest of the statements in this semester which we are going to learn are transaction control statement, in which we are going to learn rollback, commit, and save point, and DCL statements, that is data control language, we are going to learn grant and revoke. This classification of statement is done based on the type of work they are for working with your DBMS. In market, there are various DBMS packages available. In previous semester, you were using Access in OpenOffice, but in this year, we will be using Oracle. And Oracle uses client-server architecture. What is a client-server architecture? Clients are the machines which are connected to a centralized machine, and that centralized machine is a server. And to get the access to the centralized machine, the client must request for the access, and that access is granted upon verifying the username and password. Same as your Gmail account. To log on to the Gmail account, what you have to specify? You have to specify your username, that is your Gmail ID, and the password, that is the password which you have used. Fine. Once those things are verified, then and then only you are allowed to access the Gmail account. And Gmail account is nothing but it is a repository, central repository where your all the emails are stored. Fine. So in Oracle, we will be using client server architecture, but client server architecture we won't be following actually. They are local machines only, and each individual machine will be using client server architecture. So you have to give username Scott and password Tiger. Scott spelling is SCOTT and password is TIGER. Remember, both the things are small case only. Fine. Now remember one thing, SQL is case insensitive language, means all the statements which you are specifying in SQL can be written in either of the cases, capital or small. But the values which you are storing in the database are case sensitive. Fine, remember that thing. Each statement must be terminated by a सेमीकोलन. हर स्टेटमेंट जो भी आप लिखोगे उसका लास्ट क्या होना चाहिए? सेमीकोलन होना चाहिए. Now working with your DBMS. Before working with your DBMS, you have to create some structure, you have to create a container, and that container in your DBMS are tables. So first of all, working with the table, you have to define the structure of table. Defining of structure of table means what? Decide the table name, total number of columns in the table, column name and column type, as well as length of the column. And once you define the structure of the table, the next thing is insert the records in the table. Now before specifying the table and creating the columns, we have to understand the rules which are followed by the Oracle in naming columns or tables. So column name can have up to 30 characters including alphabets, numbers and underscore. A column name cannot begin with a space. Special character cannot be used except the underscore. Now column data types. Data types, which can be the data type in Oracle? The first data type is character. If you want to store character string of fixed length, means you are always sure that you are going to store a string which will be always of a fixed size. For example, your mobile number. Mobile number is always a 10-digit number. So you can store that mobile number in character data type. And if the data which is stored in character is smaller, if the data which you are storing in the character data type is smaller, then the spaces will be padded. Means what? Blank will be added after your data. And while comparing the data also, the Oracle will be comparing the padded values also. That means what? Spaces also it will count. So default value is 1 and maximum number of characters which can be allowed is 255 characters. Now next data type is varchar or varchar2. What will be the difference between the two? Character and varchar. Their varchar data type is used to store variable length alphanumeric data. Means what? The data which you are going to store can vary, can change. Fine. It is more flexible than character. While comparing the values of varchar, it does not include spaces, whereas in character, spaces are also used for comparison. Maximum number of characters which can be stored is 4000 characters. Now, to understand the difference between character and varchar2, look at here. We are having a varchar data type column of size 20 characters, and if you are storing only 10 characters, so if you are using varchar2, then only 10 characters will be allocated and rest of the characters or the spaces will be removed. It won't consider the column. But if you are using character type, then 20 size is fixed, and if you are using only 10 size, then only 10 characters will be used, but remaining will be padded with spaces. So this is the main difference between character and varchar.